You might have heard that live shopping is exploding. And I have to tell you, I have been on Whatnot for a couple of weeks now, and I see why it is. Now, Whatnot is my sponsor, and they are the reason I got on the platform and checked it out. I'm glad they did. They made it easy for me. I'm going to make it easy for you. I love it. Whatnot is where you get great products without paying full price. It's that simple. I'm hooked on their live shows, too. You got to see them. They're so much fun. And I see why Whatnot has climbed to the top of the App Store. And listen, if you're selling online, or maybe you have a storefront and you're hoping people will find your listing or maybe walk in your store, Whatnot flips that, because on Whatnot, you go live and you sell directly to people in real time. And I may admit, although you didn't hear from me, I may have picked up a couple of power tools or so in the past couple of days. I'm just saying. Whatnot, it's the largest dedicated live shopping platform with beauty, collectibles, electronics, luxury, fashion, even cookies, and anyone can sell. In fact, people who sell on Whatnot sell 10 times as much as any other major marketplace. That's because you're not just listing products, you're building real connections with buyers. So whether you're shopping or you're selling, download the Whatnot app today and get free shipping on your first order. Just search WHATNOT, Whatnot, in the App Store and start scoring amazing deals. So I was whining to my wife the other day, said, I need new glasses. And she said, well, get some. I couldn't tighten them anymore. They were scratched. You know the thing, right? But I didn't want to go through the process because you have to make the appointment. You have to spend weeks to get them done. And you got to pay a fortune, right? That's real. But I did. I spent $500 on frames and glasses, and that was cheap. And then I ordered a pair from my sponsor, Zenni Optical, for $70. Zenni is an online eyewear shop, prescription glasses, sunglasses, blue light lenses, starting at under $30. You go to Zenni.com, you pick a frame, upload your prescription, and they ship it to your door. No appointment, no store, no upsell at the counter. And by the way, if you are saying, do I really need new glasses, or do I have to put up with one pair to do everything I need to do for the next 2 years? No, you can get what you want starting at under $30. And if you've never bought glasses online, don't worry about it. I haven't either. Zenni has a virtual try-on so you can see exactly how the frame looks before you commit to buying them, with no salesman looking at you saying, those look good, but these expensive ones would look better. No, you don't get that. I'm excited. I can't wait to get my Zenni glasses and tell you more about them. If your glasses are overdue for a refresh, now's the time. Go to Zenni.com/podcast and use the code podcast15 for 15% off your first order. The styles sell out, so don't sit on it. That's ZENNI.com/podcast. Promo code podcast15. How are you? Happy Friday. I'm so happy to have you here today as we roll into summertime and the living gets a little bit more relaxed. But I have a good thing to chat about today because I've often talked about being a rock star, being the lead singer of a band, or being in the background. Which one are you? And it's not the one is better than the other. Oftentimes it's just who you are. I'll tell you that story today, where that first came from. But I had a client graduate. It's so cool after nearly 10 years of working with me personally, and she graduated to be the leader of the band. It was awesome. I'll tell you all about that. Kind of a weird moment as well. It is the Daily Boost from motivationtomove.com, the positive boost you need every single day, no matter what gets in the way. That's it. I show up to do this. People say all the time, Scott, why do you do this? I say, well, here's what I know. I know that if I show up and do my thing the way I do it uniquely, I don't try to be anybody else. I've tried, but it doesn't work. So I just go back to being me. I show up and do my thing, and somebody somewhere in the world, usually more than one, will be impacted by it. As if I reached through this podcast and grabbed you and just pulled you forward through your day. I gave you an idea that got a little bit more motivation in your step, that gave you a strategy maybe you haven't heard before, or maybe something you've heard 1,000 times and didn't hear it the way I said it. And this time it resonated. That's why we do this thing. 17 years, can you believe that? Although I am ready for a break. I have a vacation coming, going to Banner Elk, North Carolina. I'll be there 2 weeks, and then a few more days after that, almost 3 weeks off. It's awesome. Yeah, the podcast will still be here because as I talk to you today, I think I'm recording 20 programs today. Yeah. Seriously, in about 4 hours. Do what you love. Makes it a little bit easier, doesn't it? My name is Scott Smith. I'm the founder and the Chief Motivating Officer here at motivationtomove.com. So happy to have you here today. Friday, the question is really simple. You are an emotional person. Now, if you haven't heard that before, you will eventually before you expire on this planet. You'll figure it out. We're all emotional people to begin with. And then we get kind of logical. We think things out a little bit. Whenever I buy something, that's usually where I see it. I get really emotional about something. Okay, let me think about the numbers. Can I really afford it? Then I go, yep, I can. I get emotional again. So we're emotional creatures. That's just why I say, let's accept it. Ask the question, how do I want to feel? And if you really want the advanced version of this, I mean, say you're a family person, you got kids or something. Maybe you're a teacher. A client of mine, Paula, was a teacher. She taught kayaking, and she used the advanced version. I said, ask your students how they want to feel, or maybe think about your students how you would like them to feel at the end of a lesson. But it begins by saying, how do I want to feel? What's my experience going to be? If you do that today, you'll change your life, I promise. And if you do it every single day, you'll change other lives as well. Let me tell you, my client, her name is Nina. Nina's been around a long time, almost 10 years. And I remember I met her at a conference in Las Vegas. I was on stage speaking, and it's one of those events where I didn't do all that well in terms of making money. Oh, I didn't think I did that well making money. Yet she was with me 10 years. It was weird. I walked out of there not making a sale, but I had her 10 years, so I actually could have bought a house. Just saying, okay? It's really, really fantastic the way this journey has gone. And the only reason it worked so well is because I was moving her along, and we were having we were making good progress, and life was happier through all kinds of ups and downs along the way. But then she got to the point, she came to me, Scott, she said, one day, I got an inheritance I didn't see coming, and now I need to retire. I don't know how to do that. I said, it's okay. You're going to graduate. It's time for you to move on. And then we just began to work at it for the next year and a half. And it took me back in time. I thought about my son, because she asked me about being a rock star. She'd heard me tell the story of my son wanting to be a rock star. And I asked him, I said, do you want to be a rock star? Or you want to be in the band? Is it okay for you to stand on the front of the stage? Must you stand on the front of the stage? Must you be that person who must be the person who has a spotlight on you? Are you that person, or are you okay standing in the back? Some people are okay with both. Which do you want to be? Are you willing to do whatever it takes to rise to the top? To be the person who can take that spotlight and carry the weight of the band and drive you wherever you guys want to go? Are you that person? Or are you okay being a support person? Well, ultimately, he tried that for a while, but he found he was much better being a support person, became that rock star kind of in the back office. And my client Nita was kind of the same way. She had done so many cool things in her life. I won't go into all the detail because, well, it's none of anybody's business but hers and mine. But she'd done a lot of cool things in her life, but she always was in service of others. And yet, when the service went off, when she didn't have to serve anybody else, what was she doing? She stepped into the spotlight and did some kind of cool stuff. Stand-up comedy, stuff like that. And the more I listened to her, the more I went on. This went on for year after year after year. Not only was she a client, she was a friend, spent a lot of time together, her husband, my wife, and I. The more it went on, she would ask me, what am I supposed to be doing? I said, well, I know you're not supposed to be in the band. I know you're supposed to be the leader. You're supposed to be out front. That's what you're supposed to do. And then she said, well, I'm retiring. How is it possible for me to lead when I'm retiring? And if I'm going to lead, do I have to have people that will follow me if I'm going to lead? I don't know how to do this. I said, listen, if you feel like you're a person who has something to contribute in the world, forget what anybody else thinks. Just start contributing. Start being who you are. Start doing who you are. Just do it. And eventually people will notice. And eventually you'll stand out in front. If it gets uncomfortable and you decide that, hey, you know what, I'm more comfortable in the back, then go back. Well, just 2 days ago at the end of our call, I didn't even know it, by the way. It was on my calendar. I didn't know it. She's like, okay, this is it. We're done. I said, what? We're done? She goes, yeah. We're done. I said, okay, so now we're friends, right? She goes, yes, we're just friends. Like, great. I'm going to come visit you soon. We'll talk every single week as friends now. It's awesome. And she's off and running. We'll see what she does with it. I don't know what it is, but I know this as I talk about this today. A lot of folks who come into my world want to be the leader of the band. You've been working at a job forever. You've done the career, you've done the kids, you've done that kind of thing. But somewhere back inside, you've got something inside of you that says, I'm just going to step up and make a difference in the world. I just feel like I'm a rock star on the inside, but I've never played one on the outside. So I always ask, which one do you think you are really, for real? So if you feel that on the inside, if you feel like, hey, I'm not okay sitting in the back anymore, I want to get out and lead. How do you do that? You do exactly what I told Nina to do. You don't need anybody to follow you at all. You just need to begin to say, okay, I'm going to go be myself. And I know that's a big, broad, ambiguous thing to say, but you know what I mean by that. What do you do when you're doing you? This podcast, not to focus on me, but we are in our 17th year. And this podcast originated because one day I said, I think I can do that. Maybe somebody will listen. This is back when hardly anybody listened to a podcast. And I'll never forget, I'll go a little bit over today. I want to share this story with you because it's a good one. I'll never forget sitting down and spending month after month and a month pushing myself to write stuff and to figure out how to do this whole thing. Nobody had done it before. It wasn't easy back 17 years ago. You had to figure it out. I will never forget doing it. And it was hard. It was like, whoa, I'm a imposter. What are they going to think of me going out there and talking about the stuff that I talk about? I'm a total imposter. This is not going to work. It was a little chunky too, and I'm talking about fitness, right? But I wrote all these things and I put them out there, and one day I pushed the button and it went out on Podcast Alley, which was where this was pre-iTunes. And then what I did, what a somewhat overweight guy would do, I pushed the button on the motivational fitness show into the world, and then went to TGI Fridays and had Sesame Jack chicken and a couple of big beers. Yeah, we do what we're going to do, don't we? But I push my philosophies, my thoughts out there, having no idea. I put 21-minute shows out, little vignettes, if you will. And I came back about 2 hours later, checked my email, and about 20 people, it was somewhere in there, it was in their low 20s, had sent me emails. Somehow, some way, when I sat down in my little world and decided to create this little thing I've been doing now 17 years, and pushed it out in the world, then when I ate some Sesame Jack chicken and a couple of, they were Sam Adams beers and a whole bunch of French fries. People were saying to me, where the hell you been? Why did I just find you? And I said, well, because I just became findable. I just sat down and decided to make it happen. And how do we get 70 plus million downloads? I guess I never got up. I just kept doing it. I stepped into that spotlight I wanted to be in. Not great in the band, I'm not. If I'm in the band, I'm always looking at the front saying, I could do it better. I'm just saying, okay? I may not be able to, but that's just me. And by the way, I think a lot of folks, people high achievers in the world that really want to make a difference in the world, you will usually walk into any room thinking, I could do that better. Right? Am I right? A lot of people say, you can't say that, Scott. That's not right. It's truth, though. It's complete truth. All right, enough of that. I'm going to save some for next week because I'm still fired up. All right, come to my Facebook page if you have not. Come see me. dailyboostpodcast.com/Facebook. I will likely get more involved in social media toward the end of summer, hiring some folks to help me do that because it's not my first priority, so I need some help to keep it bouncing along. Looking for that. If you're one of those people, contact me. And if you're not a Daily Boost Premium member, you ought to be. It's a good place to be. You'll love it, commercial-free, and the other stuff we do, including the Boost coaching calls. Just go to dailyboostpremium.com. It's very inexpensive for what we deliver. If it's a good fit, join. Stick around a while. If not, that's cool. Stay here. Have a great weekend. I'll see you Monday on the Daily Boost.